Hi, Futurist Jim Carroll. Listen, for the December Speaker Bureau update that I send out to folks regularly, I thought I'd do a video update. And I've been watching what folks have been saying with respect to the recent IASB Engage conference in Charlotte, because there's no better way to get a good pulse on what's going on in the industry than through that. Look, we know what's going on out there. There's a flood of new speakers. There's pretty massive economic volatility that's leading to significant budget cutbacks. And just crazy client indecision with last minute bookings. We know that this industry is just becoming crazy short term. And we are seeing, let's face it, event conference cancellations. And on top of that, a lot of massive new niche topics. And what I did was I took apart what a lot of the folks were saying online in their LinkedIn posts, newsletters and commentary about what was discussed at IASB, and several things are clear. Number one, this industry is all about digital first. The old days was about personal agent contact. It's all digital now. It's all occurring online. And interesting, everybody's been saying it's all occurring on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is now the primary channel for contact. And what became clear in Charlotte is that clients are now looking to agents to be thought leaders. It's no longer just about, taking bookings for speakers. It's about providing them solutions. It's accelerating the trend toward them being thought leaders. And that means that every single agent, has to have an online presence with content and with a brand and with insight. What is also clear is that obviously the industry has shifted. What's out and what's in is very, very clear. What's out in 2025, 2026, generic inspiration, motivational platitudes, one size fits all content, that sort of, a garbage bag of the same old talk for the same old groups for entirely different folks. And entertainment is insight. It seems to be declining. What folks are talking about is really in demand is a tactical expertise, deep technical insight, obvious takeaways with immediate strategies. Look, AI everywhere, digital transformation, those are the key topics. And B2B, digital disruption. How is our industry changing? And what a lot of folks were talking about in their follow-up or lead-in posts to Charlotte was that look, the typical bureau agent is transitioning from being somebody who simply takes an order for a speaker to becoming a clear strategic advisor to the customer, to the client, to that association or to the corporation who is looking for a solution to a problem. And the problems they're seeking solutions to are obviously everything having to do with AI. They're wanting to go deeper on AI. It's no longer about what is AI and what is it going to mean to me? It's about actionable strategies. How is it going to impact my industry? What do I need to do? How do I get a roadmap going that makes sense? Most of the AI implementations so far have been pretty much a dismal failure, and I've got a lot of posts about that. Digital transformation. Companies and associations are looking for how do we continue to accelerate the implementation of technology to transform our business. It's all digital all the time. Teamwork, cross collaboration. It's all about teamwork, breaking silos, huge demand on the future of work. That will continue. And scalable business to business strategy. How do we focus on growth? How do we focus on opportunity, particularly in this volatile economic climate? That's why I wrote my book, Dancing in the Rain, How Bold Leaders Grow Stronger in Stormy Times. It's all about actionable strategies to innovate through volatility. One of the interesting things coming out of Charlotte was that there was a lot of discussion by agents that, look, we're learning how to use AI to vet all the new speakers that are coming into the marketplace. There's thousands of them who are appearing out there, and we've got to learn how to use AI to vet who's real, who's not, who's doing good work. The reality is there's a very real growth in specialization. Some of the numbers being tossed around was 3 times growth in terms of speakers who are specialists, compared to those who are generalists. And 65% of smaller bureaus were saying that they're finding it tough to find the specialists that they need. So there's a lot more need for collaboration within the industry. And look, that's leading to a lot more fee splitting for those speakers who are exclusive. There was actually a fascinating session on how do we use LinkedIn as a selling tool? How do we get out there? How do we build our presence? What do we do? And what I saw coming from this was Speaker agents need to invest in their digital presence. You need to become a LinkedIn authority. You can't just be out there posting little marketing messages. You need to be posting content, insight. You need to engage with everybody online. That means you need to master new skills, whether it's artificial intelligence or more digital technology skills or things like that. And going further into this whole process of using AI to vet all the speakers that are out there. A lot of need for collaboration within the industry, reaching out to all these new specialized bureaus and speaker management groups that have emerged to find the niche speakers with the very detailed niche topics that are required. And this was probably the biggest takeaway, a transition to an advisory role. What was clear from all the discussions that I saw online post-Charlotte was that we need a fundamental rethinking of the role of the agent. Again, not just taking orders, but to being that trusted partner. And this is where I want to kick in with a little bit of what I do. Look, a flood of new speakers out there, massive economic volatility, all kinds of niche topics, stuff like that. Look, I want to put my role in perspective. I've been out here 30 plus years. I started out with 35 millimeter film canisters. I've probably spoken to over 2,000 events, 2 million people. And I'm known in the industry for relentless customization. If you don't know me, spend a little bit of time to rediscover me. Massive blue chip clients on all 5 continents throughout that period. And I want to put in perspective a recent event that I won by bringing the client into this virtual broadcast studio that I'm talking to you from, and how I convinced them I was the right solution for their very niche-oriented topic. It was the Electronic Components Industry Association. They were drawn to me because of my client background, that massive list of blue-chip clients. And what I did was I actually prepared them a customized slide deck as part of the exploratory conversation about what their industry would be facing in the future. I talked about what we might call the next semiconductor supercycle. Their event is in October 2026, so we're going to be in an entirely different world by that point in time. And I help them to focus on the massive growth that is coming. It's really easy right now for people to focus on volatility and uncertainty and all the economic craziness that is out there. So I like to focus folks on what is happening in their industry in terms of growth. And the growth for this particular industry is huge. 428 billion to 848 billion in the next several years. Obviously, a lot of this is all AI all the time. Anybody in the tech world, electronic components, they're being driven by the AI supercycle. It's not just putting in AI data centers. It's the fact that companies, corporations, associations, everybody's going to be spending heavily and putting in place sophisticated AI infrastructure. So they're going to see that as a growth opportunity. And that's something that we kicked around quite a bit. Something they really weren't thinking about was what the impact of the changing electrical utility, the energy grid, is going to have on their growth going forward in the future. Everything in the energy grid is changing. I just did a keynote in Tucson for a significant number of West Coast electrical utility companies, putting in perspective that the electrical grid, because of renewables and solar and batteries and electric cars becoming a part of the grid, and artificial intelligence is becoming this massive, connected, smart, intelligent energy grid. And I walked them through that and how that is going to lead to massive spending on electrical components. We talked about geopolitical fragmentation and volatility and the impact of the CHIPS Act and what is going on with tariffs and all of those types of things. And we talked about what they're going to see in terms of the role of artificial intelligence, in terms of challenging their supply chain. And the same type of thing is happening in their organization is happening with speaker bureau agents. The role of the salesperson, the role of the consultant in the electronic components industry is having to change, because they're going from being an order taker to somebody who is becoming an inherent part of the consultative process, going into the early stages of this selling cycle. So what I was emphasizing to them was that the point of influence is moving earlier up the chain into design and software. They have to be a consultant to the process. And then we also spoke about sustainability and compliance as another component of the potential keynote. And had a discussion around how all of this would change the role of the individuals who would be in the room for my potential keynote. Covered a lot of stuff, automation, analytics, specialization, and where we might be in 2026. I got the gig. By virtue of bringing them in for a highly customized talk in advance, of them actual booking me, I closed up the gig because I put in perspective what it is they would be impacted by. I think bureau agents are being impacted in the same way. You are in the midst of a very significant agent skill transformation, and you've got to rethink what you can do, how you do it, moving from being the order taker. And I think that involves a little bit of, innovation in terms of how you're dealing with your clients. Look, I've got this sophisticated virtual broadcast studio with a whole bunch of gear, a whole bunch of lights, pajama pants on at the bottom, the business on the top, and can do this type of customized presentation, exploratory conversation for one of your clients to help to land the deals in this very new and very complex market that we have out there in the industry. I'm eager to do that with you in 2026 as we go into this new world. All the information you need right now is at speakersbureau.jimcarroll.com, jimcarroll.com, jimcarroll.ai. Reach out to me. We can have a conversation. And if you're dealing with a unique client situation that involves a really niche topic, let me know and I'll pull together one of these wild little sophisticated virtual broadcast sessions. We'll bring them into the studio. You can join me. We'll have a conversation. And I think you will find this is one of the ways that you can transform your role from being an order taker to somebody who's a consultative part of the process. It's all about collaboration. It's all about teamwork. I'm eager to do this with you in 2026. Futurist, Jim Carroll.